And I was like, Water? I barely know her.
I could be focusing on my academics right now. I have an interview coming up on
Water?
Monday.
I barely know her. Oh.
I regret doing that verbal contract with you.
Water? I barely know her.
You said the joke 3 times. It doesn't get funnier. It doesn't get funnier.
Yeah, he kind of does. It's kind of funnier to me now.
Say it a 4th time. See if it works better that time. Go ahead. Say it.
Water? I barely know her.
I have a thesis due tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Speedcast, the comedy podcast hosted by Liam and Camron. You're listening to this week's free version of the episode. If you want everything you see here, plus more, check out the link in the description for the Patreon. And with that, please enjoy this week's episode.
Welcome back to the Speedcast. You guys know me, I'm Liam.
And I'm Cameron.
And we're back within another week's episode.
I'm tired. I shouldn't be here.
And yet he is.
Here we are. For you viewers, anything.
Yeah. Didn't even have to force him. He's just so excited to be here.
He held me at gunpoint.
He has no real life other than you guys, so
Not true.
I wanted to let's start the episode off thanking you guys for not sending any Cameron any hate, or at least no hate so much that he
hate you.
Called me crying.
Never cried. Not once.
It was really appreciated to go a week without hearing Cameron cry over the phone or over video chat. It was just a real treat.
Liam still wets his bed to this day. Every fucking night, every other night, he calls me. He's like, Cameron, it happened again, and I have to coax him through. Like, it's okay, Liam. You know what? It happened to the best of us. It's okay.
I deleted your number.
I'm gonna out you right here, right now. Since you want to pull this fucking lying bullcrap, yeah, I'll pull the truth out on you.
Good luck. You're talking to the motherfucking editor, bitch.
Damn it.
Try and embarrass me when I have all the power over the final cut.
I'm gonna slip it in somewhere in the middle so you can't really.
You can't. Yeah, I can. You think I can't edit from the middle?
You can, but it's gonna look really weird. People are gonna start questioning what's going on.
No one's gonna care.
They're gonna be like, Liam, why is there a weird cut?
Cameron, I'm gonna cut this together to make you real bad.
You're already due.
I'm gonna upload one where it's just like Cameron, domestic terrorist, some shit like that. Ruin any chance of you having an interview. I'm gonna start putting your full name in the title.
You're gonna dox me? You're gonna put my IP in the
just your full name, so when they look you up for an interview, it just comes up with this. They're like, what's this?
Oh yeah,
hey, that is him.
Oh my god, a domestic terrorist.
We don't want that boy working here.
Yeah,
and boom, life's over.
Wow, I see how it is. So Liam,
what up?
Our first topic of the day. Would you like to introduce it? You're the one who wrote it down.
I did write it out.
So do you want to introduce it, or?
I'm okay.
You bastard.
Oh, did you want me to introduce it?
Well, you wrote it down. So we're talking about Brandon Rogers. Brandon Rogers. Tell me, Liam, how'd you see Brandon Rogers? How'd you first?
I first see him?
Yeah, when did you first see him?
I got shown him in middle school when we skipped going to recess to watch videos on our phones at lunch.
Those are the days. And
someone pulled up the fucking Grandpa Goes to Disneyland video. And then we watched that on repeat every day for weeks and started recording that class. That was the funniest shit ever to us.
I'm not buying you that shit. No, wait, that was
the Valentine's one.
Yeah, that was Valentine's one.
No,
there's my ex Patricia.
Yeah.
Still look like a slut.
No, she a ghost now. Still look like a slut.
Yeah, they are.
Or the walking behind the dad with the baby go, oh, that was my last pamper.
Fucking classic. Absolute classic.
Incredible. I love those videos.
But so that's what you heard of him. But Liam, you put his name down on the board. Would you like to explain?
It's changed so much.
Yeah, would you like to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. No, the video started. I was like, just like comedy shit. I don't know how else to say it. It's just like
comedy skits.
Yeah, they're like comedy skits, but it's like, it was just the jokes. It's no stories, just the jokes. Oh, like cut after each joke, go in between. They're funny as shit. And now, dude produces like full series like every few months.
Yeah,
and he plays like multiple characters in each one.
It's impressive.
That's the really impressive part because he played all those characters in in each self-contained thing. That's cool. Just a bunch of different characters. When you start doing like crossovers with the characters, that's impressive. I like that.
Oh yeah,
that shit cool.
I mean, I remember him back when he was doing Just like the little skits. The mom one. The mom one was one that really stuck with me. Fucking love that one. Mother's instincts kicking in.
Yeah, I remember like the first big crossover was his Day at the Park one. It was some subscriber special, and it was like all the characters all ended up converging at the park.
Oh yeah, because you had what was it? The mom,
Kathy.
Yeah. Oh, what was the other one that I'm thinking of? The teacher,
Helen.
Yeah.
Helen. Yeah, and then they had Bryce Tank Thrust, the CEO. Grandpa was in that one.
Good old Grandpa. Yeah.
I think Sam was in that one. And then whatever the creepy blonde one that he does.
Oh,
the creepy one with like the hair, and he just walks around. Oh, and the blind fashion designer.
The blind fashion designer. Yeah. I forgot about him.
Because in that video, there's they're like in the business meeting, and they're like, "Shouldn't you be wearing your shirt?" And he puts it on, and it's like, "I am a rapist." He's like, "This disgusting color of blue." And the fashion designer comes and he feels the shirt. He goes, "Oh my god, this is magnificent!" And then he takes it, and he's walking around not realizing. And then the other character's like, "Oh my god, this park is full of you nasties."
Fucking love that. I as you say it out loud, all the memories start flooding back to me.
Yeah, they're so good.
But yeah, do you want to? Because you just showed me the trailer before we started the podcast. So would you like to explain that to
so
the audience?
Like recent years, he started doing like series to like on focusing on a single character past just like the jokes, like just the joke only videos, into giving like full stories. And he started with like the Sam, where like 20 episodes. It's a long ass show, but it was funny. Though nothing beats the when it's like the Christmas card with a bunch of bald kids. They call kids with cancer beautiful orbs. And then he did like Blame the Hero, which was like a character he came up with later on, where it's like a thug, but it ended up being like this whole big time travel thing. And then there was the normal British series of his British characters. And then the clown one. Have you seen the clown one?
I'm gonna be honest. You're starting to name shit that I have no idea.
It's like recent years. I still watch them. Yeah, no, he's like a clown character with like those like toy hands, like you like pull the trigger and it's like the hand at the very end of the.
Oh yeah, like
a clown with like both of his hands are those. Like they playing with that shit. It was he turned into like blah blah the clown. It was like a whole like crime documentary. The whole series was like done like a crime documentary. It was actually so crazy.
See, I didn't give up on Brandon Rogers, but I just kind of moved away from him. I think when he started going into the series, I kind of moved away because again, I think it was just I was growing up.
No, that's fair.
Moving away from it, so I gotta be honest, I don't know much about him. The only thing I really know him for right now, in recent years, would be his Hell of a Boss.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I watch a few shows and the fandoms kind of intersect.
Yeah.
So I heard a lot about him from there. I'm like, I remember hearing the voice. I'm like, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, holy shit, that's Brandon Rogers. No fucking way, he made it.
I liked like those individual comedy things, but then I kind of grew away from the comedy ones. I was like, yeah, it's funny, but it's like the stereotype of a character, and just like back jokes, and the video is done. And they started doing the series, and I was like, wow. And I really just like the series because of the like, all of his characters always showed up in each series, like for the most part. So like you'd have him playing like 4 different characters in an episode. And the most recent one he's doing now is Bryce Tank Thrust, the CEO character.
Right.
It's like a 3-part backstory to her character.
Oh, that's what I was about to ask. Like, how many? So it's like 3 parts, so 3 episodes then?
Yeah. So this one's 3 episodes. The clown one's 3 episodes. Like they like vary in length.
Oh, okay. What's the longest one? 20 episodes?
Sam.
Did you say?
Stuff and Sam is 20 episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but yeah, this one's like a 3-part one. Like it's the backstory, so it's like set in the 80s. Oh, it's really well done. Wow. I think it's like the set pieces and like the costumes and the acting and the music. It all just really works. It's really good.
Fair enough. Can't say I've seen it. No. Like I said, I kind of grew out of it. I haven't checked in on Brandon for a hot minute now. So
no, I don't know. I'm looking. I'm actually. I really didn't care because like there's some like I'm like, oh cool, like this could be a cool series. Like the clown one, I thought it was gonna be cool because it was like a true crime documentary type thing. That was a fun, unique thing. And then it was the normal British series. It was British characters.
Right.
I don't know. I just didn't really love it because I didn't really love the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And then the CEO, I don't really care about. She's fun. I don't really care about the character. And then he released a final trailer this week, and I was like, okay, I'll check out the trailer. You know what?
You want to watch it?
It was the cover of the Heat Waves.
Oh yeah, Glass Animal Heat Waves.
It was the cover in the trailer. I was like, damn, I want to watch this because the editing was so on point.
It kind of pulled it together. I saw it. I gotta be honest.
The editing was so on point. I did not care about the trailer, but like a series. Like I was like, yeah, I'll watch it when it's all out, but I'm not gonna like watch it when it comes out. You know. And then I watched. Like that trailer had been sitting on my watch later list since it came out. I was like, oh, I'll finally watch it. A minute and 50 seconds. I could do that. And I was like getting into it, like, okay, this is like it's kind of cool. And then the music's coming on. I'm like, oh. And then once it actually like comes in, I was like, oh, okay. And the editing with the music and the lines, it just meshed together. I was like, damn, I gotta watch this now.
It was actually a pretty high quality edit. I gotta be honest.
It
kept the Brandon Rogers spirit, like the way that the actors were. But I realized it was like a professional edit almost. I liked it. And of course, Glass Animals. I love them. I
did too.
If you guys remember from the last few podcasts when I was talking about my YouTube rewind for my YouTube music, I was one of the first listeners to Glass Animals before they were big.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm pretty cool. You could say that.
Yeah. Yeah, good for you. No,
I do not take much pride.
I don't really think it matters as a spoiler thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised that like the vast majority of clips from that trailer is the first episode.
Really?
Yeah. Large.
How many episodes are out right now? Is it just the first?
One? Just one. It just came out on Friday.
And you've seen it?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it yesterday when it came out.
Oh, okay.
Shortly after it came out, I was like, interested to watch it.
So the next 2 episodes are pretty much surprises, then, eh?
Oh yeah.
You don't know.
Like there's like small things, like it teases, and like in the trailer you see the small things.
Right.
But I have no idea because it's also like these aren't like predictable. Because a lot of these like backstories to his current characters, and there's like twists and shit that you don't even notice. Like you're not even prepared for. Like the normal British series, they're like the stereotypical British characters. That was their whole thing. They had bad teeth. They wore the white makeup. They looked like old-fashioned British people.
Right.
And then it turned out that it was like a Bonnie and Clyde type thing where they just killed so many people and used so many identities, and they finally wanted to settle down, so they got a final identity in this town for families, and then they ended up killing somebody, escaping, and they ended up killing like the queen or so. Oh, they murdered or they beat up the queen to take her ring to get married, and it becomes like they become British because they have to go get the ring back.
Wow.
And I'm like
what the fuck?
Yeah, it was a stereotypical British people are weird characters, and that was the shit. That was their whole backstory. And I was like, God damn.
Jeez.
Yeah, though, like his highest production value one of all time, like of all of them, I'd say is the Magic Funhouse, which it's not on his YouTube channel because it was done with a production company.
Oh shit! Okay.
It was like a children's toy, like a children's show, but like really twisted. And it was 2 seasons. The first season's like them working together as a team, and then the second season's like really weird. It's like their new production assistant guy comes in, and everyone like hates him and stuff, and they end up driving him crazy and like ruining his life, and then he goes to prison for trying to kill them. Yeah, it was like really well done, and there's some of the characters from that, like the actors, they're in this.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, Liam, talking about series. Now, Brandon Rogers has gone into making series now.
Yeah.
But on the same idea of series, have you heard of the new series called Velma?
I don't want to talk about Velma.
He doesn't want to talk about Velma. You hear that, folks? He doesn't want to give you entertainment.
I fucking hate Velma.
Tell me what you know about Velma, the new Scooby-Doo remake.
I know like jack all except for I literally Googled when it came out and I heard bad reviews. I was like, oh, review of Velma, a review of Velma, nothing good.
Nothing.
All these different things, it's like shit. And the stuff I like, oh my god, what the fuck is this? Seriously, like I knew it was gonna be bad when the trailers came out. How the fuck did they get worse than the trailers made it seem?
Listen.
Have you seen it?
So here's the thing, right? I saw the trailer.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure about it, right?
Which trailer did you see?
The one where she gets killed.
So the one where she's like doing like the meta joke about HBO gender bending or like race bending a character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that one I saw that I was like, oh yeah, no.
Well, I was skeptical. I'm like, I not my kind of humor, but we've had a lot of Scooby-Doo iterations before, and I was interested.
I was skeptical beforehand. I don't really care about the race stuff. Like, I didn't care. Like, they're not integral to the characters. That's the thing. And that was what they were saying was like, the race of each Scooby-Doo character isn't integral to their characters. Like, yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah, you know what? You made a good point. Mm-hmm. They don't all need to be white.
No, they don't.
They were created at a time when that was the norm. Yeah, change them up. Cool.
Right.
If you keep the core characters. And I love how their whole thing was like, the race of the characters doesn't matter. Fred is white just so they can make jokes about white people.
That's true.
That's the entire point of having him white.
He's literally just a rich white boy, like the stereotype. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're literally. It's like race doesn't matter. Okay, we're making them more diverse. Except Fred, he has to be white so he can make fun of white people.
Right. So tell me, so you've never seen like an episode of it?
I've not. I thought about watching it. I have every ability to watch it.
Okay.
I will not.
Have you watched reviews of it?
I've watched a few reviews of it.
Okay.
No, that trailer completely ruined it for me though. I was willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, and then it was like the meta humor of like writing an email to HBO Max and her gay murdered, and I was like, oh.
See,
okay.
I wasn't too sure about
it. It's gonna be like this.
See, I was like, I could see kind of where the meta humor was going. I'm like, it's not my kind of humor, but I could see what it is. And then I'll never forget the day that the first episode came out.
First two.
Oh yeah, it came out 2 at a time. Yeah,
first two episodes came out at the time.
First two. I forgot it came out in 2.
Yeah.
Because again, I watched so many reviews now, just for the fun of it. Because again, I'm going to school, right? I got like an hour bus trip there, hour bus trip back. I put on a fucking review and just listened to it in the morning. So I've listened to like a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I have not heard like a single positive.
I haven't been able to find a single positive one. There was one I was watching where at one point I was like, oh, is this gonna be a positive thing? I actually go back to look at the title. Because the title was like, it's even worse than I thought. But then he's like on this point and he's like kind of like talking it up. I'm like, whoa. Is this positive? Do you like the show? I click on the tab like, unless this is like complete clickbait. This is like going to take a turn, and then it took a turn like right after I went back to the video because he hated it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? Like, I'll be honest, because again, I've seen I think up to like episode 6 and reviews kind of thing. Again, I haven't seen a single like actual episode on its own without any commentary. No. But there's this, I can't remember the YouTuber's name right now because again, I just started watching her. But she basically plays the episode and then just like pauses it and then just goes, "Here's my thoughts about that scene," right?
Yeah.
And I try to go in with like an open mind, like, okay, you know what? They're gonna say something. I'm gonna think critically about it. I gotta be honest. None of the jokes land. They're just unfunny. They like I was watching it and I was just like, even because like some of them sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, this joke's bad," but I'm like, it just doesn't land. Like I saw where the joke was.
At all.
And it's like, oh, I get it. They try to make fun of this, but it's just like, it's not funny after the 5th time you've done it, right?
There's parts, like a great example of the 5th, doing the joke for the 5th time. The beginning of the first episode, it starts out in like the shower scene where like they're talking about how the first episode of the show always has excessive nudity and sex to draw people in. Wait, it has way more than the rest of it. It's like, oh, that's funny. Like, oh, that like, if that had been like how the whole show went, I'd be like, okay, I can get with that kind of meta humor. But that entire like first like 5 minutes is just the same joke over and over and over again.
And it doesn't stop.
And it's like when Velma and Daphne are like in each other's faces, they come up with, if this was a TV show, pal, you guys would be making out.
Right.
It's like, okay. And it's just like they joke again and again and again. It's just like that. It was funny the first time, okay? I'll give you the credit. Yeah, he was humorous the first time he called it out.
Right.
Saying it over and over again isn't funny anymore.
Exactly. It's lost a lot of the spirit that made the jokes funny, And the thing is too, have you ever heard of the show? I think it was Be Cool Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Yeah, that one actually funny enough because again with all Velma resurgence, right?
Yeah.
It's much like a Pokemon game. Everyone hates it at first, and then once a new game comes out, they go, "Well, actually, right?" Because I saw some Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and people were like, some good Be Cool Scooby-Doo moments that are funnier than Velma. And it was like 17 minutes worth of clips. Yeah. And again, I was doing something, so I was just watching it. And I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, again, not all the jokes land. Some of them were like really flat. But
Not
some of them
all
I was
the
kind
jokes are gonna land.
No, exactly. But like I was within those 17 minutes, there's a few where I was like chuckling. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of cute. But with Velma, I don't think there's a. And again, I'm not saying that I've seen all the jokes. I'm not saying I've seen the episode, but
I haven't seen the entire thing, so I can't like give it like 100%. I've watched it. I can give a view on it.
Yeah, but I've seen commentary on it. I've seen clips.
Commentary. I've also seen all the other Scooby-Doo shows. I haven't seen them all in entirety, but I've seen other ones. And you know what? Before we get too negative on the show,
yeah.
Visually, great show.
I
think the artist did really well.
I'm not the biggest fan of the artist. I'm not bad.
I don't love like everything about it. I've seen like clips of like the what she said in the hallucinations.
Oh,
I think those are really like that's that. I'm like, yeah, okay, good job. Like, hats off to the artists. You didn't make it look totally shit.
No, yeah, and the voice actors are pretty good too. Like, I don't mind voice actors. It's just the writing, honestly.
The writing is bad.
The writing.
That's the biggest thing. The writing of the show is bad.
The thing is, right? Like, if the writing's bad, everything else kind of gets dragged down with it. Like, if you have bad animation,
absolutely. If you have bad animation, like, if I go back and watch an old animated show, animation might be shit, but it might be really good otherwise.
Exactly. Right.
If the writing is shit,
it doesn't hold up.
You can't save it. Because I can't. Like, I'm not gonna watch this on mute to just enjoy the style.
Exactly.
I can ignore how it looks. Like, that's the thing. If it looks really bad, but the story is good, I can do something else while I'm watching it. If it looks really good, but the writing is really bad, I can't I can't like play a game or like read a book or scroll my phone and have it going on in the background.
Exactly. No, and that's the thing. Like, the way I ordered it is like writing has to be good.
Yeah.
Then the voice acting has to follow through with it.
Oh, yeah.
Animation comes last because even if you have bad animation, you can stylize it and you can do a lot with animation. I mean, I'm just trying to think of some examples. Like the old. Have you ever seen the anime Guts?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. There's a little bit too much for just one episode. I've never seen it myself, but I've seen like bits of it, and it's dated, right? Like it doesn't look like the greatest, but it's like the story itself. I mean, of course, it's a manga adaptation, so it's not like pulling like original source material. But even then, it's like the animation may be like, oh, you can obviously tell that like this is kind of older, right?
Yeah.
But it holds up because the story was good, you know.
That's fair.
And so it's like, I don't know. It's just I've been watching Velma, like not watching Velma, but watching
like
reviews.
Videos about Velma.
And it's just not doing well, man. I don't like it.
It's not.
None of the jokes have landed for me. Every joke that I've heard in that show is either cringy to the point where I go like physically go like, I feel nothing.
I don't normally do that. There's been some things that have been like jokes and like lines in the show that physically made me go, oh, what the fuck? Why would you say that? Why would you write that?
Yeah. Also, Velma's not a likable character.
Yeah, that's another thing. She's a title character, and she's so unlikable.
And they don't really address it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's not like Velma's like a bad person because of her own action. Because again, like a lot of it's like, oh, you know, she's been mistreated, she's been called, you know, ugly her entire life, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, people don't like her because she's an asshole.
Yeah, all the other stuff can be true. Yeah. She's just an ass.
Yeah, it's like
she's just unlikable to everybody.
And you know what? One of my favorite YouTubers, Quentin Reviews.
Yeah, of course, you're talking about Quentin.
Well, no, okay, he said this thing, right? Okay, here we are.
Yeah, I'll give you.
He said this thing in one of the Victorious reviews that he was doing, right? Where he was talking about Victorious, and he was saying it seemed like the writers for Victorious at least watched like a dark comedy or like a black comedy kind of idea and they missed the whole point of that, where you're not supposed to like the characters. You like. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, right? You're not meant to like the characters are meant to fail. You're supposed to root against them. That's the humor.
They're meant to be shitty people.
Yeah. And of course, within Victorious, right? It's like these characters are doing some shitty thing, and you're supposed to root for them. It's like no, right? No. And same with Velma. It's like Velma does these horrible things, and of course, maybe it'll be addressed later on. I don't know, but throughout the 6 episodes, never addressed.
But why is it? It shouldn't take this long. Like that's the thing. Who cares if it gets addressed later on? You haven't hooked me. Like. I'm not going to watch a show if she's not even sort of likable.
Right?
Yeah.
Or has redeeming qualities. I think there's only one part where she's trying to make these girls like ugly, right? Because the murderer is killing hot girls.
Yeah,
and they like Velma make
that
them...
was also a really weird fucking scene.
That was a weird
where
episode.
Where they're like,
they rank the hottest.
We've discovered the pattern linking the murders. Hot girls. So we're gonna protect the hot children in the town. It was like,
yeah, I don't like
that.
Yeah, they called like these 15-year-olds hot. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I was so like, I just saw it was like one of the reviews. Like, yeah, like they do this and it's like the hottest girls and like it's like different like pictures of these teenagers in bikinis on there and they're like, these are the hottest girls in town. And it's just like,
yeah, I didn't.
What the fuck?
It was. Ugh.
Yeah.
But after that, right, so like she tries to make some of them ugly.
Yeah.
And then they cut, and then she's like, Mayor, look at this. And she pulls the curtain away, and they're all like the same again, right?
Yeah.
First of all, there's a joke in there too when the mayor goes, ooh, hot girls, daddy, likey. Weirdest fucking shit I've ever seen. Like that was, yeah, again, I'm probably getting the line wrong, but it goes along the lines of like, ooh, daddy, likey, or something like that.
Children.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking weird. And like, again, you could probably say, oh, it's a joke about, like high government officials being creeps, but it's like you didn't play it. The joke was that he said it, not that he was like a person saying it. You know, like it's the joke was the line, not like the delivery of it. But the whole thing I was getting at was there's this one line where she's like, Velma was like, what's happening? I thought I told you guys, I thought I told you guys to be ugly, and they're like, yeah, but you're telling us how to be women. But
I've seen this.
But like, yeah, and it's like,
yeah, but
what makes you any more of a woman than me?
Yeah.
You're kind of oppressing us. And I was like, oh, someone's calling her out. Completely gone the next episode.
Yeah, no.
From what I understand. Like, it just doesn't get brought up again.
It doesn't grow.
No, it doesn't. I don't like this show. Again, maybe not for me.
I haven't found anybody who is for it.
Actually, I looked at the reviews. I try to look for good ones.
Oh, and like the first one where like they make the joke about who like animation, like adults who watch animations are losers.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
you know what 420 means.
It's an adult. This is an animation for adults.
Yeah.
But you're calling them losers for watching the animation. But it's an adult. It's not aimed at children. So who is this for?
Yeah, right.
Who did you make the show for? If you're calling the supposed target audience losers for watching it.
Also, you know what pisses me off too? They're like, oh, this is adult animation, so we got to get rid of Scooby-Doo, right? Because they got rid of Scooby-Doo in the fucking Scooby-Doo show. And they're like, oh, it doesn't work. And I'm like, but it does.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen, they made like a really dark Scooby-Doo comic book.
Oh, I think I've seen this.
It was like post-apocalyptic zombies.
Yeah.
They had fucking Scooby-Doo in there. And again, I can't remember it all off the top of my head. I never read it. Again, I only saw like online kind of reviews and like bits and pieces. You want
to do Mr. Incorporated, the anime, like the show? Not super adult, but it's a more serious take on it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. You could put Scooby-Doo in an adult show.
Yeah, like I don't understand that. Like, oh, it wouldn't have worked. It's like that would have worked fine.
You just can't write it. And that was like the thing where it was like, we didn't know how to write Scooby-Doo, and it's like, what the fuck are you writing a Scooby-Doo show if you don't know how to write Scooby-Doo?
He would have been a great sidekick. You know what he would have been great for? I'm just spitballing in here too. Norville, right, who's the Shaggy ripoff. Put him as like the fucking voice of reason for Norville. Fucking done. Like literally Norville goes, I should sell my kidney to Velma to win Velma's love. And fucking Scooby's like, Norville, you dumb motherfucker. Like, like some shit like that.
Yeah.
Could have made it adult, could have made it funny. Like,
well, they're sitting here saying like, oh, it's so hard to write adult Scooby-Doo show with Scooby-Doo. The original James Gunn Scooby-Doo movie, the live action one, was supposed to be R-rated.
Oh, yeah, they weren't they?
It was supposed to be R-rated.
I forgot about that.
And guess what? Scooby-Doo was in it.
Yeah.
He was the main character in it.
It fucking worked.
It's not that hard.
It just makes me mad that was their...
Like, 20... it came out in 2000 something? 2003? I think.
God, a long time ago.
Yeah, like
the CGI's not holding up.
20 years ago, James Gunn was able to write an adult Scooby-Doo,
right?
That wasn't approved at the time. Like they was like, no, we don't want that, and change it. So it's not that hard to write it. Like I've seen stuff from it. It doesn't all land.
Right.
It's also all like some of it hasn't aged well.
Oh yeah, no.
It's very much
Scrappy-Doo still scares me to this day. Like
of the writing for the R-rated version, but it's an adult Scooby-Doo. Like, it's not that hard to do it, and there's so many things that they changed that make no sense. The characters, like literally. Here's the thing. I've in one of the reviews I was watching, they even said like, "Oh, it's not a great show." And I tried going in like one of those like I tried going into it blind, like not having it be a Scooby-Doo show, not trying to compare it to that. Still not great. And this was the video where I was like, "Is this positive?" Because he was like, looking at this as its own thing and not Scooby-Doo. It's not great, but it's not as bad. But that's the fatal problem. It is a Scooby-Doo show,
right?
It's a Scooby-Doo show, but it's just not. And that's where it really fails.
Yeah, see, I heard a theory, right? That it was basically Mindy Kaling had this idea.
Yeah.
And she tried to pitch it.
Yeah.
And they basically said, "No, we're not doing it unless you're connected to an IP." Like
she wrote herself into the show and then
Well, yeah, so she like
that's the other thing. Everyone's like, yeah, she just wrote herself as Velma. Velma's just her. That's why she's like the star in all these, even though she's a shitty person.
Yeah,
because she wrote herself. That's her.
Yeah,
she's not. She can't be the bad guy in her own writing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like I heard that she like wrote like again.
Yeah. No, I heard that too. She wrote this thing. She pitched it, and they went, "We're not really looking for that."
And then she goes, "Fuck it, we'll make it Scooby-Doo," and they go, "Ah, sure, we'll sell it."
Yeah. Okay, let's change the name from Mindy to Velma.
Right. Exactly.
And they're like, "Oh,
yeah, that works.
That works. Yeah, we're in."
And the other one I heard was that she purposely made it bad, as like I can't remember the exact words they use, but like basically like a
careful. You say you can't remember. Someone's gonna.
I know someone's gonna comment.
It's not that hard to look it up.
Yeah, I know. All right. Basically, she wrote it as fodder, like fodder for like an ideological war, where it's like, man, these left TV shows trying to be so woke and whatnot. God, get a load of that. This is what the woke people think's funny. And like, a lot of people were like, I think it's the highest form of like a critique when you make a show so bad that people go, this has to have been done on purpose to spark controversy. Like, there's been so many things where I've heard like, oh man, they just fucked up on the writing. Something just fell. It's a certain level when people stop going like, man, this is so bad that they had to have done it on purpose to do for some greater purpose. Like it's
bad. I want to talk about two more things about the show.
Okay, yeah, the floor is yours.
So one, I think it's in like the first episode when Velma's dad's girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Like have you seen the clip? Like the clip where
she gets
they do
the photo show.
The photo shoot.
Yeah, she
strips naked and like the baby's pushing through the skin.
Yeah, that's some horror shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's fucked up. Again, animators did a great job. They just had a lot of weird shit to work with, you know?
Yeah, what the hell was that?
I don't know. That's some shit you'd find on like Rule 34, you know? Like that's...
That was just so weird. And yeah, no, she was like, she's a bitch to everybody for no reason. And I want to talk, what do you think about the characters? Like Scooby-Doo characters. So like,
not the Velma show characters, but the Scooby-Doo characters.
The Scooby-Doo characters in Velma, like Fred, Daphne, Norville, and Velma. We already know how we feel about Velma.
Yeah, Velma's just like an unlikable character.
Yeah.
With no redeeming qualities. Norville's interesting because I think Norville, like, if they write him well, right? But like with what they have right now, they have a really good setup for like Norville just going like, I mean, in the latest episode, I think it was episode 6.
Yeah,
he kind of does become independent. He kind of falls back, but at the same time, like they literally showed like, oh yeah, Norville like can be a better person. He found himself a girlfriend. He started to stand up for himself. It's like, hey, that'd be a fucking good character. Like that's a great. Hey Velma, you're an asshole to me. You don't care about me. I'm moving on to better friends.
What I've heard, like seen in like most of the reviews, is they say that Norville is the most tolerable character,
but only because he lacks any like quality.
Because he doesn't have because he's not doesn't have a backbone enough to be his own fucking character. That's what I've seen is like, yeah, well, you know, it's not Shaggy, but like, he's not unlikable purely because. Doesn't have a backbone to be his own person.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I hear everyone's like, yeah, he's a fucking simp. But like, other than that, like, he doesn't do enough for me to give an opinion.
That's exactly it. He's likable enough because it's like, oh, I can see him becoming like an actual character. Fred's actually, you know what's funny? I don't mind the characters.
Really?
I really like the idea, like Daphne's story. Oh. Sorry, a little bit of spit there.
Disgusting.
Sorry. But Daphne's character is actually, I think, is actually kind of interesting.
Really?
With her like whole like, she was adopted by her mom's. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There was one joke that I did find really funny.
Do you remember it?
What?
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. It was Daphne confronting her moms
Yeah.
about like where they found her, and they're like telling her the story, and blah blah blah, right? And then all of a sudden she goes, "My story of how you found me sounds an awful lot like Superman," and they both in unison go, "We don't like Superman." And then the camera zooms out, and you see like the Superman memorabilia. That was a good
Okay, I
joke.
kind of like that.
That was actually a good one. I
I
actually
haven't
did.
seen that, so I kind of like that.
I knew there was one joke in my head that I was like, I remember there's one or two jokes I found like actually kind of funny.
Yeah.
And that was one of them. But Daphne's story about like, she's like on a quest to find her like actual birth parents. Again, a lot of weird turns. I don't think they're gonna write it well. But again, like on paper, it's like that's not the worst. And even the way that they kind of write her isn't like the worst. It's just like some of the dialogue, like the way they write the dialogue.
Yeah.
It's just ugh. And then Fred, again, it's a weird thing because, again, all these characters aren't Scooby-Doo characters. They're Scooby-Doo, they're characters who hold the same name and
They're
kind of
Scooby-Doo
clothing.
namesakes.
Yeah, exactly.
And like their color scheme, same color scheme, but that's it.
Because again, I think Fred has an interesting character. He's it's a great commentary on like the idea of like toxic masculinity, right? Of how nepotism kind of works, right? And how that creates a sheltered life. The idea of trying to become your own person and learning and growing as a person.
Yeah.
Again, he read the book like the Feminine Mystique, and he went too far one way, right? But like he became like trying to become a better person. It's like that's a good character. He's just in a really bad show. Like I think that a lot of the characters, it's like on paper, like as I say it, it's like theoretically this is good, but they write it so horribly, and they're unlikable. Like,
see, everything I've seen from the show and of Fred, I've just found him like a really bad character.
Really,
like, everything I've seen is just he's a man baby, and like he's like a man child, and he's a major asshole, and he's white. Like every single clip I've seen, they're mentioning either he's white or he's a tiny dick. That was the other thing.
Yeah, they really harped on that the first few episodes.
Yeah, and then the line of like, I'm gonna ride Fred's micro penis all the way to the line. I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
That was a weird.
That was a weird line. And again, there's a lot of weird lines in the show like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you clearly want to sexualize everybody. Why do you set it in why do you have to set it in high school? Yeah. Why can't this be set in college?
Yeah, I was gonna say college. Adore.
You clearly want to sexualize every character.
It's really weird.
Why do they have to be children?
Exactly.
Why couldn't this there's no reason this can't take place in a college.
Oh no, yeah.
Seriously.
Other
than they have to be children.
Yeah.
So you can be like, sexualizing kids are bad.
Right.
But we're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah, right, exactly. I guess when I kind of answered the question of like how I feel about the characters, I'm looking at them as like what they could be.
Yeah.
Because what they are now, yeah, Fred's insufferable.
Yeah, everything I've seen is he just seems like this insufferable
yeah,
he can't kill anybody because he can't cut a steak, and he's just like poking the steak with a knife, and then I was like,
yeah, what? Like at the current moment he's insufferable, but I'm like looking at it's like, oh, this could be I think I don't know. I wish it was something better because there's some good stuff on paper. That it's like again, this idea of toxic. Again, they're playing it for comedy, but it's like yeah, no, the idea of toxic masculinity, and how that takes away from how a person really feels and forces them into a way and represses emotion. Really interesting stuff. I know I did a lot of it in school. I had to read up on a lot of it. So seeing it's like that's actually kind of interesting because I know a little bit about that. But then it's like you look at what the actual character is, and they're like, "Oh, toxic masculinity. Fred's a man baby now. Let's laugh at him." It's like, no, he had something going though.
Yeah, I feel like every clip I've seen of him is just making him a man baby and making fun of him for it.
No, yeah, that's all it is.
And just making just taking all these things about his character and just be like, oh yeah, we wrote this into his character just to be able to make fun of him for it.
Yeah,
and it just feels like she hates Fred. Like they wrote Fred just so they could constantly hate him.
Oh yeah,
for everything he does.
Oh, 100%. And then even later on when he becomes like less of a man baby, he becomes like this like like a feminist, but like not like a good feminist. Like he's like, no, honey, let me tell you what it means to be feminist, like that kind of feminist.
Oh my god!
And again, it's like, oh, that's really interesting. You know, he takes two extremes and how both extremes probably aren't good, but they don't write it like that. They write it like, oh, good Fred's an idiot. But it's like, no, you have a good point there. You know
what my favorite Fred is?
What?
Mystery Incorporated one. Where he's a clueless buffoon who's obsessed with traps.
He's a fucking himbo and I love him for it.
He's a himbo who loves traps.
I love it.
I don't know. I love that one where he's like, I love Daphne, but I don't know how to tell her that. So it's like, I love traps. You are traps. Like, I don't know.
You say that on today's modern internet, that's gonna get you in a little bit of trouble there.
No. That's my idea of like Fred. Like I like the clueless himbo.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, any version other than Velma's version is like a better version of Fred. Even though the Be Cool Scooby-Doo, I was watching that. Yeah. Again, he's a fucking idiot in that show, but it's funny. There's some good lines. Or he's like showing kids around in Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and he's like, and one of the kids like, "Do we get lunch?" And he goes, "Oh, I see we have a Shaggy on our heads," and he's like, my name's Norman. He's like, all right, Shaggy. And he like continues on. It's like stupid line, but it's kind of funny, right? Funny. Like it's like, oh, that kind of made me
I saw in one of the reviews I was watching, they're like, yeah, when I first started watching, I saw like Friend was like an idiot. I was hoping it was gonna be like a red herring thing, like I don't remember what the show is called, like the Scoob and Friends. When they're like little babies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where like Fred, like every time they were investigating something, a mystery, Fred always jumped to Red Herring, which was the bully in their neighborhood, whose name was Red Herring.
Yeah.
So his thing was always jumping to like, it's Red Herring, it has to be, but it never was. And like they're just like talking about like, yeah, he felt like in the show, like when they first like were you seeing him, he was like, yeah, I felt like that was what he was gonna do. His character was gonna turn into that, and I was okay with that, but then he didn't. And then the one thing where the Hitler joke.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know, man.
They do the whole like Fred Hitler joke, and then again another meta joke that doesn't land, which is like everyone's calling him Hitler, which we do to everybody now.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah. One last thing. Was the amount of times where she's like, I say she like Mindy Kaling as Velma. Would like write this line where she's like, she makes a meta joke, but you don't know what the meta is. Like she's like, oh, really? Another stereotype where women detectives aren't smart? I'm like, what show are you What are you talking about?
The one where it was like, I thought lesbians were supposed to be good at solving crimes. That's like the one thing they're supposed to be good at.
That's like the one
positive stereotype. And I was like, where the fuck are you getting that from?
Yeah, what stereotype?
Where are you getting that from?
Like, are you talking about like investigation podcast? Because I don't think they're all lesbians. Like they're just
yeah. I don't know. I can't. When that line came out, I was like, I was just sitting there trying to think of like what show she was trying to talk about. Yeah,
there's so I can't think of all the examples. There's so many examples. Like something I have, I'm like, is that a stereotype? I've never heard anyone go, man, those lesbians sure are good at solving crimes. You know? Like, you hear the joke where it's like, despite making up 13% of the population, they make up 50% of the crimes. What am I? You know, like that. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a pretty bad stereotype. Also, really bad data analysis, but we won't get into that. Sorry, I had to do data analysis for a semester, and it pisses me off every time I see it now. It's like, oh, I know why it's wrong. I know why it's wrong. But like it's just so funny because I'm like, you know, you hear a whole bunch of stereotypes, right? That's not one of them. It's just not.
No, I don't. I can honestly, I've never heard that stereotype.
Right?
Like I want to say, like, oh yeah, I get that. Oh, good.
I remember back in the 1980s.
Good joke about how lesbians are good detectives. They solve mysteries.
Right? What a subversion of expectations.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah,
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
where are you pulling that from?
Yeah, there's like, and it's like, oh, we're trying to subvert, and then you know what it is? It's like they're trying to subvert expectations, but there's no expectation of it. You're not subverting anything. But yeah, no, I've been seeing so many reviews. I had to bring it up. I had to bring it up. I
constantly was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt as it was coming close to coming out. And everything I heard just made it harder and harder to be like, maybe it's not going to be terrible. Maybe it's going to be okay.
Right.
It just was worse and worse every time I heard about it.
Every time. Every episode's like, it just never gets better.
Yeah, like I'm looking for like the redeeming quality that finally shows up.
I'm hoping by like the end of the show, I hope I finally find a review where they go, wow, this was a good episode.
Yeah.
This wasn't actually not even a good.
I'm
like
trying
this
to
was
find
a decent
someone
one.
who goes, yeah, I like this show.
Right.
Like, I'm still trying to figure out who this show's actually for.
I don't know.
Who's the show for?
It's not for kids.
That goes, yeah, I like that episode.
Yeah,
it's not for kids.
And again, I saw on IMDb, like I think it's at like a 1.3 right now. And the few like 10-star reviews are like, yeah, no, it's funny. Like I think it's just like some people have that taste of humor.
Yeah.
And it's like, each to their own. Like if you like it, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, if you like it, all for you. I don't like it. I don't think it's. I think it's poorly done.
Yeah, if you find it funny, if you go, oh, actually, I really like that.
Yeah.
Must be just supposed to be good thing, and you thought that was fucking hilarious. Yeah, fine. I don't get it. I don't like it. But if you like it, all the best to you. You know. But talking about Velma, right? They have a lot of meta humor.
They do.
And a lot of people say that started like really big started with Rick and Morty. Now, have you heard about what happened with Rick and Morty?
I have.
Have you? Because you wrote it down on the board.
Actually, you know, I'm gonna applaud you. That was actually a really good segue.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, I was really impressed with your segue. I wasn't sure where you're going with that.
I as you were talking, I've been thinking about it. I was working on that motherfucker.
I had no idea. You're like, speaking of meta humor. And I was like, fuck are you talking? Because I also completely forgot I wrote that down. I thought you were trying to skip to the last one. I was like, how the fuck is this gonna connect? Rick and Morty. Yeah.
See, I have my ways. But yeah, so
I heard about the domestic charges.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Like, damn, that. Yeah, you deserve to go down for that. And then I think it was on Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday this week. I was lying in bed, and I went on TikTok, and I was scrolling, and it was like, I don't know, some video about someone like, when you finally read what Justin Roiland said to that underage, or when you finally read the messages that he sent, and I was like, he sent like messages admitting to the domestic charges, and I was like, oh my god. So I clicked it because of course on TikTok now it goes like, I don't know how it generates the like search topics. I clicked on that and I went and looked. No.
Would you like to explain to the audience?
Underage girl, fucking creepy way, and it's not even like something you can like. There is literally no defense for it.
Hey, do you want me to pull up the text, see what he said exactly?
He outright, like in a message, says, "It's too bad you're so young. I wish you were 18."
Hold on, let me pull.
Yeah, pull up the messages.
Yeah, let me pull.
He straight up acknowledges that she's underage. Like I don't know, and I was just like, I watch Rick and Morty. I'm not like one of those like super fans. Because I think as the show has gone on longer and longer, the fandom has gotten like kind of weird. Like they've become like the super fandoms. Are you reading them?
Yeah, sorry.
Read them.
You are great. So it starts off with Justin Roiland.
Yeah.
You are great. So are you.
Here, you know what? Let's do it.
Let's do back and back.
Let's do it back and forth. Okay.
Do you want to be Justin Roiland?
You be Justin Roiland. Okay.
Okay. You are great.
So are you.
Are you going to get Morty tattooed on your boob, licking your nipple? If not, then who?
I didn't see this one. I didn't see this message. You should do it.
And that's what the message is. Like, I can't see the rest of it. Hold on, let me find some other ones.
I didn't see this message. What the fuck?
This is the first one that popped up for me.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, this one would be just me.
Okay.
Can you write a song about 9 dicks of different size and ethnic origins hanging above your face?
I have not.
And then in the lyrics, describe how they each splatter you with. I'm wondering if these are fake.
I think these are, because these are not messages I saw. I saw way different messages than this.
See, I'm reading these just off the internet, and so I'm starting to get worried that I'm spreading misinformation.
And if he is, and someone decides to take legal action, Cameron is his own separate entity. This Speedcast does not condone.
Yeah, no. So I think this one's fake. This one has the F slur in it. I don't think Justin Roiland. I don't. Yeah. Ended association.
You know what's like?
Sorry.
'Cause I'm only on season 3, so I'm kind of behind. And so people talking about like, oh, he's gone, yay! Like we can all look forward to the like super meta episode where they gotta do a bunch of different voices, and they're gonna acknowledge it all the time of how they have different voice actors, and it's like, oh yeah, and they're like, yeah, and then we're gonna have more incest episodes. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was a weird part of Rick and Morty.
I didn't know that was a part of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, they started doing fucking
Like I knew it was
incest
like
episodes.
weird. Like there was like the weird looks from Morty in the early seasons. What the fuck? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, because Beth starts like dating a clone of herself.
Yeah, I saw like a short clip about that. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then people were like talking about like Morty and Summer.
Oh, wait, really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's real or not because it's on the internet. But there was like a family tree, and it was like Morty and Morty Jr. with the sex bot, and then Morty and Summer and their child. I was like, I don't want to know.
I wonder. Do you see? I wonder if that's like a weird episode.
I'm behind a lot. I'm kind of like worried about just going forward.
See, I've never watched Rick and Morty. I've never seen like a single full episode.
See, Rick and Morty, it's, I don't really know how to describe it. It does kind of have a toxic fandom now. So it's like, you describe it poorly, you say the wrong words, you get attacked.
Oh yeah.
So if you guys have any hate, my Instagram is yourboy_Camron.
That's a lie. That's mine.
Send any hate to the
I wish
DMs.
I knew yours off the top of my head. I would.
Mine's even easier than yours, bitch.
Let me pull his fucking out real quick. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
If you guys are gonna send hate to. Hold on. Fuck, your story's not up anymore. I was gonna go straight to you.
Fucker. Yourboy_Camron. And I'm gonna put that soundbite over yours.
Fuck.
Whenever you say it. You can't defeat me.
The Liam Show with 2 W's.
I am the editor. You cannot
send your
defeat
hate
me.
towards the Liam Show with 2 W's.
Sorry, you guys are never gonna ever hear what he just said.
Zoom in on this. Zoom in.
That's too bad that there's a blur over your phone screen.
Go down to the description. Find his Instagram. It should be linked in the description. Send hate his way if you dislike this episode.
Yourboy_Camron. I'm gonna put your Instagram.
I was gonna say you're not gonna have
yours in my link too.
Go in the previous episode. If you have hate for this episode,
change all of them.
Wow, no one's
until
gonna
the next episode comes out. All of them are gonna have yourboy_Camron.
Listen, you know what to do. You know where to go. Send some hate towards Liam.
Camron.
If
Send
you really
hate in the DMs.
Don't send it to me. Unless you want to say, "Hey, Cameron, can you forward this?" In which case, I'll forward it.
And then I'll just block him.
Yeah, he'll have to see me eventually.
Not really. It's about time to get a new host, anyways.
What are we fucking like condoms? You just switch us out every so often.
No, you're like more disposable than that.
Oh,
like podcast co-hosts.
Oh, I thought you could say like latex gloves, but
no, I reuse my latex gloves.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
No, that's disgusting.
I was gonna say that's nasty as fuck. They're meant for like one-time use, Liam. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Bro, sometimes I'll get something on them, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna keep using them for, like, I'll be like, oh, we're moving this thing, and I'll drop it. I'm like, oh, take the glove off, put a new one on, and then we get on it again. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of bad. So, Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a weird, like, sci-fi, dark humor type shit show.
See, I just saw some of the humor. It's not my thing, It's just like,
it's my thing if I'm in the right mood.
Yeah.
I have to be in the right mood to watch Rick and Morty. If not, it's just a chore. Especially because they don't really change his characters.
Yeah.
They're the same character from season 1, episode 1 to pretty much the most recent episode.
Yeah.
They don't really change. They do whole storylines where they supposedly change. But they don't really.
Yeah.
There's like small things where like Jerry starts in the family and he gets kicked out and they get a divorce and shit. But like Rick never changes. He only cares about himself and he's an asshole to Morty. And Morty's just a pushover little bitch.
Yeah.
And it never changes.
I don't know. It's just
it makes it kind of hard to watch.
See, because I look at it and they're like, oh man, the story and whatnot. And it's just like, I don't know, if I'm gonna watch a story, I think I want one with like where like the characters like gradually change and evolve with each other. Just Rick and Morty. Yeah. I won't deny that Rick and Morty is a good show. I fully believe that it's obviously gone far enough where it has a fan base.
There are parts like there are parts where I can see why like some people like love it so much, and I will admit it's not a bad show. It's not a bad show, but it's not a masterpiece like a lot of people say. I also think that like season 4 time
peak,
you could say it was a masterpiece, and a lot of people were. But now it's just like it's just gone on. And I don't know if it's like gone on too long, or if like season 4 was when you finally. I might be even like it's gone on too long. Where season 4, it ended, and it's like you can only beat the same thing, like the same character flaws, over the head over and over again before it just becomes hard to like them and give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. It's you can only take a show for so long before you kind of just gotta put it out. But
and it's like I once watched half a season in one day. Wow. Just because I was bored. And it's like, okay. Oh, it's there. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll watch it. And I turned it on and I was scrolling through my phone and I was doing other stuff. And I was like, I'm almost done the season. Okay.
See, it has the same problem to me as like One Piece, where like you look at One Piece and like it's 1,000 and something episodes. It's just like there's 8 you cannot tell me it's that much story to tell. Again, to the One Piece fans out there, I get it. It's a good show. I won't hate on it. I just can't get into it. I see the fucking 4 digits and I go, no thanks. I'll stick to my 12 episodes.
I understand that. I think that there is not a single piece of storytelling or anything that needs to go on that long.
And it's they keep on going. They don't.
That's the thing. Once you keep going, you're just beating it over the head. You're selling the same jokes. You're recycling stuff. Like I get why they go on that long. The fandom's like, oh, it's a massive fandom. I love the community of people. I love making this show. I love working on this. I love doing all this and all this. It's like that's great. It needs to come to an end.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's a lot of thing where if it's really successful, you don't really have the networks the big wigs above you saying, yeah, we need to cut this out. We needed to draw it to an end. It's going on too long. It's like, hey, we're making money.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to keep doing it, go for it. And then it goes from like, this is a great show to, oh, this is still going.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's so many shows where I think they could have ended earlier, or they should have gone on longer. I think one of the best examples was Gravity Falls. Yeah. 2 seasons and it was done.
Perfect ending.
Disney tried to get Alex Hirsch to make more, and he goes, "Nope, this is it. This is where I ended. I'll make more comics. I'll make more books.
And you know what?
No more shows though."
The show feels longer. Like every time everyone says like, "Oh, it was only 2 seasons," I just like, no.
It feels like
it feels like it was longer because it had more.
And it feels complete.
Yeah, it's a complete story, but it feels like it told way more story than it did. Oh, but then I go back and watch it. It doesn't feel like it's missing stuff. It's a complete story that feels big.
And it's good. Yeah, no.
Excellent. And that's a lot of things. Like, I love that. Like, Stranger Things, 5 seasons. If they wanted, they could go 20 seasons.
Are they ending it on the 5th season, eh?
5th season is it. Final season.
I think the actors are also getting a bit too old, so I don't think they could pass off as kids anymore.
Yeah, right? But, that doesn't really stop. If they really wanted to, Netflix would be like, oh, yeah, we can recast. Oh, we can set another story in there.
True.
Oh, we can do this new 10 anthology series where we do 5 seasons for each character group.
That's true. That's true.
If it's really successful, nothing really stops you from ending it.
True.
For the most part. It does come down to like self-control of the creator to be like, yeah, no, this is when I want to end it. And what really sucks is when the like creators are like, yeah, it went on too long. I had an original, like, when I first started the show, I had an original ending. And then we were so successful, I just thought, hey, let's keep going. Yeah. And then my ending didn't work anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh, yeah, like, I can see it drawn. Like, you went too far. Like, some shows, they have a great ending. Some shows, they don't. And I feel like the best endings are when they've gone on just long enough.
Talking about that, going back to Rick and Morty, do you think they're gonna end it this season then?
No.
Like, do you think no? Because I'm just thinking, Justin Roiland was the voice of both Rick and Morty. Like, I mean, that's
unless it completely fails, they're gonna keep going.
See, I'm just thinking, how are they gonna do that then? Because I would say recast, eh?
There's some incredible impersonators.
Oh, fair enough.
Like, no offense, but Rick and Morty's voices are not that hard. He used to get drunk in the sound booth while recording Rick's lines.
Really?
He was actually drunk while doing his lines, which is why.
Nah, he was in character.
Which is why Rick was getting drunk. In the episodes, some episodes he would get more and more drunk because he was getting drunk in the studio.
Really? I actually didn't know that fact.
I've seen behind the scenes things where he's sitting there and he's got like a bottle and a flask, or like a flask in some of them, and he's sitting there, he's doing his lines, and he's like burping and he's drinking. He's actually actively drinking alcohol. And I think it was like around season 4 time when, like, not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure there was an article came out, like someone talking about how bad it was working with him because he would drink while recording lines. But yeah, it's not that hard to recast him.
Fair enough.
I literally saw a video this week of someone doing a Morty impression. It's just as good.
Oh, fair enough.
And of course, it makes them money. It's successful. They're gonna recast it. And if it sounds really weird, they're gonna make the running gag of Rick commenting on it. Morty going, "Hey Rick, don't we sound different?" And then Rick being like, "Yeah, Morty, it's almost like we're voice acted characters in an animated show." And then they're just keep going.
Pull a fucking Amazing World of Gumball shit. You remember that episode? Did you ever see that?
I don't think so. I've seen a lot of it.
There's an episode where they're like, "Why are our voices changing?" And all of a sudden, like a glitch in the Matrix happens, and the voices go back to normal. And he's like,
I think I actually have seen that.
And the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, you guys have like permanent 12-year-old voice syndrome or something." And it was like just a way to say that the voice actors were changing over.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh wow," and
yeah.
Rick and Morty's gonna fucking steal that shit.
No,
I'm gonna call them out on it. I'm gonna call them out. Go on my Twitter. I cannot
see a single universe in which the next season comes out with different voice actors, and that joke is not in it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's just so Rick and Morty.
It would be 100%. That meta humor.
The only way that Rick and Morty will end anytime soon is if people turn on it after it changes, and they start going like it's not as good anymore and all that. Because again, it's a successful thing, and there's no like. They don't really care to end it anytime soon, I don't think. So I don't think it'll end.
Fair enough.
And I think, a lot of shows end either too soon or too late. We've kind of come away from the time where it's like we hit it perfectly. We ended perfectly. Where like,
Now, talking about, since we're talking about endings, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about some TV endings. You know, that's the last thing we got on the board. But I'm wondering, what's our time looking like?
We're at an hour and 3 minutes.
All right, so maybe we'll save this last little bit for a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, I guess if you guys want to hear us talk more about some
TV endings,
you have to check out the Patreon, link in the description.
Yeah, come check us out. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah, it's a fun group of people. You know, it's me, Cameron, and whoever wants to
be voices in my head. Oh yeah, sorry, the Patreon.
And the voices in Cameron's head. So with that being said, that's it for this episode of the Patreon. Or of the podcast.
Wow, fucking up the line. Stick to the fucking script. We have it going down. You're the most unprofessional motherfucker I've worked with. God.
Sorry.
Thank you for joining us today. Please leave a dislike if you absolutely hated Liam.
That's the end. That's the end of this podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Our links in the description down below. Check us out.
This is just sadness in your voice now.
Follow us or subscribe or however you can wherever you are consuming this episode. And
thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you guys.
See you guys next week.
See ya.